All right, Light Warriors. Once again, we have a great spiritual warrior with us, Sam the Illusionist. Sam, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you, Michael, once again for inviting me to your wonderful show. And I send love and light to everyone who is watching this from all over the world. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for being here again. It's really wonderful how this is all coming together. We really are all over the world, and so many people, watch both of our messages, and it's great for us to come together. And we're really approaching, massive changes for the world. We're already going through them, and one of the massive changes is really the energy that's coming from the sun. And I speak about the great solar flash, and I know that you have a lot of insight on the solar flash. And would you like to share maybe what you feel or what you see that's going to be coming up in the future?
Yeah, actually, I have channeled a lot about the solar flash. And, let me just, do a quick search because, I have done a lot of sessions and, I feel that, it's very hard to remember. So I had channeled on 28th of November 2021 with the Galactic Federation about the Great Solar Flash and consciousness. So what they had said was that uh, actually our consciousness, requires a solar flare or a solar flash event, which will allow us to shift into the higher level. What they have said is that the solar event usually is a kind of balancing mechanism. So in any civilization or in any planet, if there is a lot of imbalance, right? Let's just say, there are more negative entities, there is a lot of imbalance happening and there is more negativity. So what happens is that, like the solar flash acts as a type of balance. So what it does is basically, what they have said is that in the solar flash this time, they have said that it will happen around the timeline of 2030 now. I don't know what Michael has received, but that's what I received during the session. And they have said that this solar flash will basically be a trigger for us to enter into the fourth density or the fifth dimension. It's the same thing actually. And this is a kind of like a starting point, which will allow us to, enter into that higher level of vibration. So what this solar flash does is basically it will give, people who are in the negative pathway to, go to their own place where there negativity and stuff, and people who are in the positive pathway, they will go to the place where there is positivity, the new earth, the fifth dimension or the fourth density. And that's what I have received in one of the sessions. And Michael, can you tell me, like, what have you received any information about this? Or
Well, so on my channel, I really speak about what's happening currently, and in the past year, we've received a lot of X-class solar flares, the strongest of the solar flares. And earlier on, it was December of 2020. Some people called that like the first solar flare, solar flash. At that time of these, if anyone could recall back in December 2020, the Schumann resonance went offline. It was something like that it couldn't even register how high the energy was in the Schumann resonance at that time. And ascension symptoms were kind of off the charts. Those videos are still on my channel page at that time period. But recently we've had a lot of X-class solar flares. So what you have taken, since we're not there in the future yet, is this the grand solar flash? This would be a bigger event than what we've experienced so far?
yeah, this was regarding the great solar flash. So this is not the like normal solar flash like you have said, but this is like a bigger one. And what they've said is like it will basically act as a balancing system and allow, people based on the vibration to either enter the new Earth or to be taken away to another planet. Now, I don't know how that will happen. Maybe like ships will come in or spaceships will come in. I don't know how it will happen, but that's what they have said in the session. And also one of the things, interesting thing is I had a session, which I had done uh, let me just check, okay, because there was something about the solar flash and CERN. So actually, like it turns out that there was one time the um, solar flash actually was initiated by negative entities. So it happened in the planet Maldek. So the Maldek, actually, if the viewers do not know, it's the asteroid belt. And in one of the sessions, what they had said is that Maldek was destroyed during a galactic battle, and during that period, what the negative entities were successful in triggering was a negative solar flash. So that was the first time I ever heard about this. So they said that there is a positive solar flash and a negative solar flash. So let's just say, like a negative is artificially created solar flash. Like maybe if you have heard about, artificial sun, being created in some places. I have heard that they have been trying to do this in China for a long time, and also like CERN can be used as a system which can generate artificial solar flash. So the negative entities, they may try to do that in the future, and that is one of the things that I have received in the session. So that solar flashes are of two types. If the negative entities are successful in triggering this negative, artificially created solar flash, obviously, if anything is artificial, it doesn't have the essence of the creator. Like, for example, let's compare artificial light with the sunlight, right? When you sit in the sunlight, you receive positive energy, and our body heals with the natural sunlight. But replace that with a light bulb, or an artificial light. Just compare that. It cannot be compared, right? So I think like the artificial thing is being created in the backside, and they're trying to before the main solar event happens, which is the 2030 timeline. I believe the negative entities, they're trying to work hard to create a negative solar flash, which will be of a negative nature. So if the positive solar flash allows for entry into the new positive vibration, the negative may destroy all positivity and only allow the negativity to remain on the planet. And this was also one of the things I had received in one of the sessions. And also what I remember is that they had said that planet Maldek also had experienced this solar event, and planet Maldek actually was destroyed because the negative entities were successfully implanted this type of device, which uh, created a negative solar flash event. And because of that, like it was destroyed. So we don't want that to repeat again in our planet. And hopefully people through your channel and my channel will become aware of this fact. And that's what I know.
Yeah. On my journey, I just kind of, things come to me. And years ago, I was out on the beach, and the preparation to accept came to me. And I feel like our body, with all of our cells, we have trillions of cells, which has DNA receptors, which are responsible for light and sound reception and transmission. We're being changed. So the wiring, if you will, if you think about electricity, you have to be able to handle all of the energy that's coming in. So we're changing slowly, because it's too much. I think about Dolores Cannon as well. She spoke about this upcoming time period. But I feel that, like, when we talk about like transporting, right? It might not be going to a physical planet, but there's realities upon each other. And you might walk through your journey, and you see people, and they're like totally on one timeline, and then you see other people and they're on another timeline, but we're right here. And Tesla said, I am the receiver. So a lot of us are receiving a broadcast. So the reality is just a frequency, and people are tuned into different frequencies. And I think that we're talking about the sun and the solar flash. It's really everything is a frequency. And that sun, this energy, is changing who we are. I think a lot of people, they don't realize, like, we're just like a little speck. And if we're going to live here, right? I also speak about the Schumann resonance, the frequency of the world that we live in. If we're going to live here, we're going to have to attune our vibrational frequency to to live. Otherwise, it's not a vibrational match. And then, what happens? Human brain waves. This has been shown that human brain waves are connected to the sun, the solar flares, the Schumann resonance. It all comes together. We were talking right before we got on. I've been experiencing a lot of ascension symptoms, bodily changes. I think a lot of people are accustomed to their point of homeostasis, how you eat, and this is something that I've been sharing on my channel for the past month, maybe even a little bit longer. It's really been happening, very strongly. And have you been experiencing like changes in your body or the way that you've been eating?
Yeah, brother. What I've noticed is that I have noticed that when our vibration shifts, like our eating habits as well shift. So I'll give you an example. When I actually noticed this happening in my life. So every day, like I used to have this habit of, craving type of junk food, the kind of Lay's kind of thing. Lay's, right? The Lay's potato chips thing. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I used to crave that. So every day I was in a habit of going on a walk, and then whenever I was in the walk, I used to stop at a shop, and then I used to consume that. So that was my daily habit. And then throughout this process, I think it was around a few months back, like 2, 3, 4 months ago, I did some of the exercises, meditation, and I felt that my vibrations shifted. So I no longer like had this craving or desire for that. So I felt that at that point, I realized that wow, this whatever I consume, it actually changed with my vibration. So whatever you are consuming in your life, it is a reflection of your vibration, I think. And like you said, like I have also experienced a lot of like eating changes in my life, because like as you shift higher and higher, somehow like your body also shifts with the vibration, which is like crazy. And I've seen that in my life. Like I give an example of that. And also, other thing that I've noticed is that some people, like they don't have the habit of like giving the body this kind of like new vibration, right? Because they're accustomed with the same vibration. They want to be in the same level, and they don't want to try new vibrations. Because I've seen that some people, some people, they want to be stuck in the same vibration. If they are unhappy, they just want to be unhappy. They, even if we try to help them, they don't want to escape that vibration, right? And I think when we try new vibration, everything like begins to shift in whatever we do, our daily habits. It begins to have a shift in our thought forms, processes, and yeah, like you said, I have had in multiple times, like not only eating habits, but also what I did. What I mean, it shifted a lot. So my activities also like shifted, and yeah. So can you tell me like what did you experience like specifically?
So, and people that are familiar with what I share, and I know a lot of people might be new to what I have to share with this video. I used to really live like the bodybuilder lifestyle and eating 5 to 6 times a day. And in recent times, I only really eat 1 or 2 meals a day. And while doing so, I'm eating a lot more fruits and doing a lot of cleansing, which I never really was called to do. So my lifestyle, as you said, has changed. One of the things I've said is ascension comes first. So I actually went through a time period where for a few months, my stomach, my midsection around the solar plexus region, the sacral area, really got inflamed and bloated and really swollen. I don't know if you experienced that as well. And I knew it was something that, was very different because I'm accustomed to how my body normally is. So I was actually forced because, you're going to have to make changes in your life. So I was really forced to detox and cleanse and figure it out. I think that everyone that's listening right now, what we're all going through, we have to learn to really go within and feel what we need for our bodies. Like I can't tell you, no one could tell you what you really need. A lot of this is trial and error, and that's really what I went through. For a couple of months to really figure out what my body really needs and how to move forward. So yeah, I have a little, the need to eat a lot less. but my body is reacting differently. So if I went back to my old self, a few years back, and I only ate two meals in a day, it wouldn't be enough. I might be hangry, when you get
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hungry, And now I don't experience that at all. I have a lot of energy, even though I've eaten a lot less food. So we might be changing for that. And so if I think about you know this, it's almost like activating a superpower. You don't even need that much food anymore. That's a great thing if you really think about it. And what is the degree, if you've gotten any insight on this? Like we're constantly going through this evolutionary journey right now, and I've already seen myself evolve, really in the past 5 to 10 years. I've seen so much change, almost like I'm getting younger than when I
Yeah.
was 10 years ago. So what is like the degree, if you have any insight, of like the activation of our abilities, almost like superhero powers? Like some people talk about the Merkaba and being able to teleport or fly, and all of these different abilities that maybe if we had full control of our abilities of our DNA and our brain, it would be like almost like superhero powers for a person. So do you have any insight on how much the activation would go?
Yeah, brother, I do have. Let me just check, okay? Because I had done a one session, wherein I had asked literally about, how to activate the brain capacity, like brain functioning to 100%. Like what you're saying is, I think it's related with that. And um, one more minute, okay? Just and I think it's related not only with the. So let me just read one line, okay? So I got one line from a session. This is my transcript. I have transcribed it. So what they are saying is that for the human collective to reach the optimal level of DNA activation required to safely integrate an acceleration of frequency, they have given special permission and clearance to directly intervene in humanity's awakening and to assist with the reconnecting of the templates between the organic ascension evolutionary process. So uh, it also states that is being negatively interfered with beyond humans' abilities to achieve an ascended state on its own. Now, I don't know what you understood from that, but basically, from that, I think what I learned is that there are some negative beings, who do not want us to like fully activate. And I think that I think this is because there are like people, elites, who are under influence of negative entities, like some people, they do it for control. And the funny thing is that we have almost 8 billion people, and we are being controlled by just a few people, right? We can't even count them. It's like less than, I think, less than 50, right? Some of the top people who are actually controlling. So I believe that's what they're saying. And because of that, I believe, first of all, we need to be free of that kind of influence from the negative entities, and only then can we receive this ascension into the higher acceleration, because we live in this society, in this kind of matrix kind of society, where we are being constantly being put down, constantly being deprived of the vital higher vibration energies, constantly been forced to depend on something outside ourselves for satisfaction. When we are constantly have that desire, which is actually pre-programmed from our school days, like school days to when we do our job or whatever, we have been mentally programmed by this system which was created by the few elites, that's what they call them, who are actually in coordination with negative beings, the reptilians, the Orions, and they don't want us to like fully activate. So first of all, we need to escape from their clutches. We need to free ourselves, and we need to take back the power, and then only I think we can activate the ability. And the abilities will be like I think it will be like tremendous abilities, like we have heard many stories of people healing others, and even in some of the religious texts, like healing others, flying, time travel, space-time travel. Everything is possible. But because we are dependent, in this system, we do not allow it to foster it to develop. And I think that's what they said in this session. That line. Yeah. So can you tell me like any understanding? In the meantime, I'll search for some more. Okay.
Oh
While
yeah,
you say,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, I think that you really hit the nail on the head because so many people are
yeah,
trained to look outside of themselves, and that's just been the way of the world. Go to a false idol, and where each person, you're actually here for your own experience. You're actually a co-creator with God. And so many people just give away their powers just because someone else told them. I think that when you talk about time travel, I think that's why everything is crazy right now. Like a lot of things don't make sense. And one of the
yeah.
things that I shared on my channel many times is that linear time is fake, and that the timeline is actually a
Yes.
spiral, right? So we're going around in a spiral, and I feel that we've passed this, where we are right now. Now humanity has woke up a little bit more, and now we could see if we'll be able to graduate and extend out of the spiral, and we were constantly expanding. But you could always see we always come up to these points. We're ready to level up, and there's a similar energy theme in the collective. So I also talk about the micro and the macro, so things that you could feel in yourself. Like we've been sharing, I feel there's a lot of restriction, like a contraction that's happened to try to prevent us from moving forward. And then once we get through this time period, we're actually going to expand outwards. And when you said about the activations going slowly and not being too much, Dolores Cannon, as we brought her up before, and if anyone's watching this has never seen any of Dolores Cannon's videos, I really encourage you to check her out. It really shines light. It really helped me on my journey to know what's really happening right now. But she said the activations can't happen all. It's too much for the body, and even the simple because we're going through disclosure, we're learning the truth about our lives. I've been going down the rabbit hole, I'm sure you have, for many years, and every time previously I would go through down a rabbit hole, and I would actually get tired just from consuming all this information. And you're actually changing who you are, because what we actually are, 95% of the time we're running off subconscious programs. And
Yeah.
just by breaking down these programs, that's why it's a lot. So Sam, I'm sure you see this too. If you share some truth and it goes against what a person's core belief system was, you might get a little backlash. People feel uncomfortable, irritable, and that's just the way of it. So we have to go very slowly in order to really take in this energy the right way.
Yeah, brother. Also, like, I was searching, I found something really fascinating. So this, for achieving like, a higher level of activation, like you were talking about, right? To, have the ability, what actually they said in one of the sessions is that we have actually, our society is geared towards the left brain activity, like, analytical thinking, going to school, getting more marks, numbers, calculation, it's all actually left side hemisphere. And then the right side of the brain, it's actually to do with intuition, feelings, emotions, sensing other like realities, astral projection and stuff like that. So I believe, like what they have said in the session, that we need to activate our right side of the brain more. So when we do that, like by learning to be less analytical, by learning to be less analytical means that you don't think as much, you don't we may have been, like indoctrinated to think too much, like everything we have to calculate, if this thing will happen right or wrong or whatever. But sometimes, we just need to trust our intuition, and then that will allow, like your right side hemisphere to be more activated. And I believe that's what they've said. So when your right side activates, you'll receive this other types of, abilities, like the ability of, sensing other realities. Like you said, we are not in a linear time. This is just an illusion. We actually have like multiple timelines happening, we can go back and forth based on our energy. And I believe, if we activate our right side of the brain, this ability will come forth. That's what they have said in one of the sessions. It's very, very important. And yeah, this is what I have understood.
Yeah, and in science, that's called achieving hemisync. So hemisync
Ah, yeah.
is right. So we want to marriage both sides of the brain and bring them together. And really, on my journey,
Nice.
I was a science teacher, and
Wow.
science was a big thing. And I always had a spiritual aspect, but like over the past few years, we have to have balance between the two. And a lot of people lose that focus. They even said this about Atlantis. Atlantis fell, and every time a
Atlantis, yeah.
society where technology overrode spirituality, when they lost spirituality, the society collapsed. And the
Yeah.
time that we're in right now, if you're familiar with the Hopi prophecy, the Hopi Blue Star prophecy spoke about this
Yes.
time. And we don't want to be losing ourselves spiritually, and a lot of people have lost themselves spiritually. And I really encourage people, if you are strong spiritually, the things that you take for granted in life, they actually become irrelevant. And I feel that a lot of people, you will benefit if you look at this as a life lesson. I'm on a journey. I have a beautiful friend here. So far away. We're on different sides of the world.
Yeah.
And if I didn't go on this journey, I look at all the friendships and all the experiences that I never would have had if I, like you said earlier, kept doing the same thing. So we could try to we're eating the same thing, and not try to change our frequency. Look at all the relationships. I really feel that going forward, building strong communities, building strong relationships with other people, that's the most important thing. I feel a lot of people, they were tricked to becoming disconnected, and I've seen this. I don't know if you've seen this too. Like, people were more connected. Now everyone's like afraid of you. Everything is kind of separate. And what we need to do as a community, we have to bring people back together.
Yeah, brother, I think that's very important because right now, in this like digital age, like I think, the digital age, is about to either, it's about to collapse, or, something other may also happen. But, I don't know if you have seen the recent, like advancement in like artificial intelligence and stuff like that. It's like crazy, right? And also it has made us more distant, like you said. So I believe, right now it's time for us to go back, maybe off-grid kind of lifestyle. And I've seen many people actually choose that because they get fed up with the system, right? You get fed up with the system because you have to work, you have to pay your taxes, you do this every single year, you have to do that, and it feels like we have to somehow, it feels like we have to pay to survive. Like, that's the kind of system that humanity has created, which is like really mind-blowing, right? We have been created on this earth, and we need to actually rely on something outside of us to just survive. And I believe like many people, they're choosing the lifestyle of off-grid because that way perhaps like they will be able to make their own food products, make their own whatever they need to survive. And with that, like they will have a balance, and they are much more happier because I've seen many YouTubers, even they have gone off grid, and they started to rely on themselves instead on the system, right, that has been created to put us into this like a system of lock. And we don't have much freedom, we are completely dependent on that. And like you said, if a community of people, or besides that, they want to come together and do something different, I believe that's very important in life. And also in the future, like in the movie The Matrix, like there was a few people who were against the system that was created in that movie. It's kind of similar right now, like there's a system, and there are a few people who are trying to actually wake people up, and maybe someday, like they everyone of them may come together, and they will have different kind of like system, so that There will be people who will be self-dependent without depending on the system, and people who will depend on the system. And I believe, that is about to happen in our world as well. And also, one of the things that I found, and while searching my sessions, was regarding Atlantis. So, actually, uh, let me just give you what they had said. Okay, so in Atlantis, what they had said was, this was channeled. I had channeled in 2021. I had channeled the Pleiadians. So the Atlanteans, at the space-time had started to become so advanced that whatever they thought of started to appear in the environment around them using the infinite intelligence energy, and they also created many technological life forms. But what happened was that these Atlanteans became so obsessed by their progress that they forget to focus on their spiritual side, and instead completely focused on the mind complex energy and the technological side. And this mind complex energy that your kind calls the ego is the same mind complex that ultimately led to the destruction of Atlantis. So this was in one of the sessions. And I think same thing is happening right now. It seems like the past is somehow repeating. We are also focusing too much on making robots, more advanced technology, and forgetting about the spiritual side. But hopefully, Michael and me, we are trying to remind you also, so that the same thing may not happen again.
Yeah, that's very much in alignment, and I think that we all have to realize it's the intent. So technology is not bad; it's actually very important. It's just the person that's behind the technology and what are you using it for? I couldn't create my channel and you couldn't create your channel if it wasn't for technology. It's bringing people together. So I really encourage everyone. It is the intent behind it. What are you using it for? How are we going forward with these things? But yeah, a lot of people have lost their way. It is really where we are right now, and that's why my channel is called Our Everyday Lives. We have to be rational. Okay, it's not about, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to sit. I mean, you could sit up on a mountain like a monk if you want to, but we could still go out and have a good time, but not lose our way spiritually. So it's really about balance. They have a word for it now. It's called trans-rational spirituality. So you could be spiritual, but actually be within society and be rational. And that's where we really want to bring everyone together, because I feel that in any way you could look, you could try to be doing the right thing, a good thing, and you might go too far one way or too far the other way. But what we want, and I think you brought up, it's all about achieving balance.
Yeah, brother, that's very true. Because if you just do too much of one thing, like too much of technology, it's bad. Like, so we need to have a balance, like you said. And yeah, I think like many people, they are starting to realize, because when we like use too much of technology, there is some kind of like this feeling of unease. Like if you use too much of technology, like because of distance, I believe, not being in contact with other humans, that creates some kind of uneasiness, right? And we have a biological need to speak to other people, and interact with them. And I believe, like you said, there is a need for a certain amount of balance in our life. And yeah, we can be spiritual, like you said. I believe a spiritual person will learn more in their everyday life, rather than living in a mountain, because that way they will learn how to actually like handle emotions, how to handle the challenges that come up. And that's way more productive for a person than to just sit in the mountainside, nothing happens, nothing goes wrong, you know what I mean? So I believe, yeah, like you said, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we all learn the most through firsthand experience. And that's why we said the truth cannot be told, it can only be realized. So you're going to have to realize things through the firsthand experience by making connections. Things fail, and there's really, they technically say there's no wrong decisions, but because everything is a learning experience for you. So it is a rough time right now. If anyone's, listening to this, you're going through a rough time, you have to sit back and your perception of this, and I do this and it really changes. It can say, what am I learning from this? Sometimes we say, oh, why is this happening in the world? Or why is this happening to me, the micro and the macro? Well, we could sit back and say, what are we learning from this? A lot of people are saying, why is this taking so long? What is society learning from this experience? We're learning to be sovereign. We're learning to do things ourselves and stop going to an outside source, a savior, if you will. Right before you, anyone watching, we got two regular guys right here, just hanging out, and we're creating
Yeah,
so much. We don't have to be these prestigious people. They said, it's really a biblical time, and they always talked about false idols, and people, they've lost their way to worship people maybe that didn't have their best interest in mind. But I think that as we go to the new earth, there's not going to be leaders or the leaders that like are now. It's really all of us together leading ourselves, and just like the spiral, as we're spiraling up, we're picking each other up, and you and I, we're showing this to the world right now. We just keep picking each other up, and we've lost that connection, and we're not robotic. You need to have communities, you have to have friends, and the life lessons of actually interacting with people. Sometimes I say I do want to go up on the mountain, but I've been going through a lot in the past few years, but it's a good lighthouse to show people that you can really excel, even though the times are very chaotic. So I always say, just
yeah,
keep going.
yeah. I think all of us, are on our own journey, and through other people's interaction, through meeting other people, through trying new things, and like you said, like in many of my sessions, they said that we are actually the creator itself. So you're the creator, Michael is the creator, I am a creator, and everyone is the creator, right? But we don't realize that. And I believe, like even many of the like teachers that were here before, what they were actually trying to see was that everyone is the creator, but somehow the words during translation, they got distorted because we don't have video at that time, we don't have any audio recording, so it was like written by someone else, so it may have gotten distorted. And I believe everyone is the creator, and we are here to experience new things. Like you said, even the wrong decision helps us to understand the decision was wrong, and it helps the creator to experience new things in life. And everyone is in their journey to become one with that inner essence of the one creator. That's what I have learned from my sessions. And I've seen this, it also like has an effect. I don't know, like if you've noticed, about karma and things that happen. Yeah, I've noticed this in my life, in even some of my friends' life or in my parents' life. Like if you do something good to the person, right? What happens is that the creator of the universe, since it is everywhere, it will do good to you. Like in some way, it may not come from the person, but it comes from some other place. And I'm like, what is going on, right? So finally I understand that everyone is the creator, and what you do unto others, it actually like comes back to you multiplied sometimes. And yeah, that's what I know.
The positive feedback loop. That's what we all have to create, positive feedback loops, and that's what we're doing today. We really need to sometimes get back to the basics. I think they're always, there's a lot of changing. They're always changing things up. I even saw that years ago when I used to work in the fake matrix world. They're always changing things, but sometimes if you get back to the basic things, we don't get led astray. And I feel, some people, they might try to get led astray, but you have to keep an open mind to everything that you're experiencing, and uh, you become more empathic if you start seeing yourself in other people. And when you say, oh, okay, this is how the person is, acting, or what are they experiencing? What are they putting out towards me? Oh, I could see myself. Okay, this is why this is happening. I have a Patreon, and I have the 8 Dimensions of Wellness community. And what we don't realize, we could look at a person and say, "Oh, this person's got everything," but meanwhile, I see people could even say that to me, but they don't realize we have 8 dimensions of wellness. And right now in the world with all the chaos, you might be, Sam might be dealing with one dimension, I'm dealing with another dimension, but together we have 8 dimensions of wellness, and we have to bring them all together. And each thing that's happening, they say God doesn't give you too much. You might experience one thing over here, but over here you're doing well. Then this gets better than something over here. They're all different life lessons, and that's why we're constantly evolving and growing. And it's just a journey to become the greatest version of ourselves, so we could all be powered up and maybe activate that DNA. Yeah. So before we get off, do you have anything else that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I think like one of the things that really has helped me to change the vibration. Since we were talking about changing the vibration and the shift in the your bodily eating habits. I would like the audience to try and experiment. Like, because this happened when I did this. So it's really simple. Like what during one of the sessions, what they've said is that our face muscle actually regulates our emotions. We don't know this, right? So if you just do this, like even though it may be fake, you will somehow begin to smile, like
Yeah.
you'll feel good. Yeah. And just by doing this, I always like I was like practicing just doing this, even if it was fake, like just doing this, somehow I felt better. And that was the day I didn't eat that, like. And this has been like a lifesaver, my friend, like Michael, because I let me tell you the truth. I used to feel in my life, I used to feel somehow, this there was this feeling that used to come up in my stomach area, like this, like a knot, like some kind of like depressed kind of feeling used to come up before, during my daytime. So like, as in the morning I was fine, right? And then as the day progressed, I used to feel this in bad kind of feeling, and I was wondering what is this, what was the cause of this. So in one of the sessions, I found out that it was my face, actually, because I used to be like this, uh because that actually, like, it used to be transported to the muscles. And then I like practice, just doing this. And every time, like, I used to do this, just even though it looks fake, but I felt good. And then that thing never happened. So I want the audience, if you want to see a change in your vibration, if you don't want to meditate, it's very simple, just do this, just stretch your muscles and see what happens in your day. Yeah.
That's it's a very interesting synchronicity, because recently on my channel I put up a video, "Don't you want to have fun?" And I
Ah,
feel that
nice.
a lot of people have lost. I could even reflect on my life. We all have to take out the accountability mirror and critique our own lives. And I feel we have to get back to being like a child, and focus on having fun. Life is supposed to be about experiences and having fun. And because it is a chaotic time, but we've lost our way. It's not really about prestige. It's not about consuming. It's really about having fun and doing the things that you want to do. Because they'll tell you things on the TV, and all of a sudden you're creating someone else's life, and you're not actually creating your life. So we're all gonna practice smiling, and everyone's
Yeah, yeah.
gonna start having a good time again. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and I had a great time being with you again. We should definitely do this more often. And for my audience, you should check out Sam the Illusionist. Please take the time to subscribe to his channel. And if anyone that's new to me, I have the Our Everyday Lives channel. Please subscribe to my channel. And collectively, we're coming together, and we're going to build even bigger and stronger communities. So this was a really good time. I really appreciate you coming on, and we should do this again real soon.
Yeah, brother, thank you so much for inviting me. And I want to say thank you to all of you. And also, thank you to the audience. And definitely, like Michael is making a big, impact in the planet. And I feel that, like with his kind of work, whatever he has done till now, the planet has shifted into a more positive vibration. And I want to sincerely say thank you to Michael for all the work he puts in every single day. And thank you all so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here and doing the work that you do. I love you, brother.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Take
Love
care.
you too, brother. Thank
Love
you.
you. Bye bye.